Getting right into it, today's video we're going to take a look at HIT or high intensity training origins. In particular, we're going to look at Arthur Jones, Mike Mentzer, Sergio Oliva, and Casey Viator. So Arthur Jones is the originator of high intensity training. If you notice, there's the Zimbabwe flag. He invented high intensity training along with his first Nautilus machine, or the inception of the Nautilus equipment in Zimbabwe. And so, ergo, many people credit the birth of HIT to being in Africa. Now, Arthur Jones was he was buddies with pretty much everybody relevant in the powerlifting, in the bodybuilding scene of that time era. In particular, Joe Weider and some other guy, I forgot the guy's name, but some guy that invented some weight equipment. Anyways, so Weider had his poster children, and Weider swore by, and had his magazine publication, and swore by high volume. He believed that high frequency and high volume of sets and reps and high everything as easy to put it, correlated to one achieving one's potential with weightlifting. And Arthur Jones begged to differ. Arthur Jones took a much more pragmatic approach, a much more scientific and well-studied approach, and sure enough, everything sprung from an anecdotal experience that he had, where he didn't have the time to work out, and so he simply just, instead of skipping a day of working out, he simply just cut the volume in half. And when he came back to the gym the next time, he to his surprise, he was stronger. All right, he was noticeably stronger from one workout to the next. And so he kept toying with the variables at play, and eventually started coining the main principles and pillars of high intensity training. So the one set methodology hadn't really come. Arthur Jones was like at the lowest 3, but typically 5 set kind of guy. You have to remember, this was in a time period when 40 plus sets was the norm. And so 5 sets was Arthur Jones, right around the sweet spot for him. He didn't want to go too low. Anything higher than that was obviously high training and inefficient or ineffective. And he believed greatly in long recovery periods. He was a very scholarly person when it came to the body, and so he simply realized that the body simply cannot recover and in time. And recovery was, as well as low volume, as they would put it, was very essential in the growth process and processes that occur in people. All right, Arthur Jones published many publications, of which are free on his website, Arthur Jones something. Not the Wikipedia. If you look it up, it's his own dedicated website by people from his camp and family descendants. And he trained Sergio Oliva, most notably, to take Arnold in the '69 Olympia. All right. This proved to be a huge upset, and this was actually a precursor and the first time that high intensity or low volume beat high volume in the stage, in the platform. He would later go on to train Casey Viator well before Sergio Oliva. So Casey Viator is of note and remarkable in the timeline of high intensity training, in that he, through the Colorado experiment, all right, a research in conjunction with Arthur Jones done by the University of Colorado or Colorado State University, one of the two. I'd have to relook the reference. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. What they ended up doing was they took Casey Viator, who was fresh off of a broken forearm or something. He had a break, and so he needed to recover, and he diminished vastly, and he thought his weightlifting career was over. And so Arthur Jones saw a lot of potential in him, and Arthur Jones said, "Hey, you know what? Come to this study. It's a I believe a 28-day study, and we're gonna simply see what the effects of low volume, higher intensity, lower volume in those time periods will have on with higher periods of recovery will have on your muscle gains, on your gains." And to everybody's surprise, Casey Viator put on dozens of pounds of muscle. Okay. So this was the sounding alarm that Jones needed. In particular, another trainee of Jones, Mike Menser. All right, this is what they needed in order to just get the validation that they needed, which is that they were going in the right direction. All right, now it is of note that Casey Viator had a substantial amount of muscle memory. However, how is one to gauge what is strictly within the bounds or realms of muscle memory and what is strictly within the bounds and realms of high intensity training? Now, Now we get to Mike Menser. Okay, Mike Menser was a bit of a problematic employee for Jones. Actually, you know, you can go ahead and quote me and say that Jones wasn't rather fond of Menser for one reason or another. Just so you know, Jones was a very strict and tough SOB. Okay, he might not have the enlarged muscles or enlarged dimensions of some of the bodybuilders or powerlifters, if you could call them that he was training at that time. However, he had lots of moxie, all right? Uh, as is documented by Jones' son, when an employee was caught smoking weed in his off time, Jones literally smacked them and threw him outside of the work establishment and told him to never come back. All right, Jones was known for this, even with the bodybuilders. All right, he was really tough. All right, so to recap, the originator is Arthur Jones, pictured on the right, and three people that he trained of noteworthiness is Mike Menser, Sergio Oliva, and Casey Viator. Okay, Casey Viator and Sergio Oliva were his crowning achievements as far as trophy lifters or trophy bodybuilders. However, Mike Menser, despite the shakeup that they had between each other, would go on to revolutionize, or not revolutionize. That's a bit of a strong word. Mike Menser would go on to enhance and expand upon the high intensity training protocol, theories, and principles. So now we're getting somewhere, okay? This has been a Bobby Forever educational video. This video is in particular in regards to the precursors that are important for the Forever methodology, my own methodology, named after myself, employed by Charlie Widener, etc., etc., etc. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and bye.